Welcome back. Today, we explore the value of these most valuable silver Kennedy half-dollar coins in different condition that could be worth a lot of money. So let's get started. First up, the Kennedy half-dollar was introduced in 1964 following the tragic assassination of President John F. Kennedy. His untimely death in 1963 left a profound mark on the nation, and the U.S. Mint sought to honor his legacy by replacing the Franklin half-dollar with a new design bearing Kennedy's likeness. The coin was not only a symbol of remembrance but also a political statement during a time of national mourning. The coin's first release in 1964 was made of 90% silver, but due to rising silver prices, the composition of the Kennedy half-dollar was changed in 1965. From 1965 to 1970, these coins were minted in 40% silver, a standard that continued until the end of the 1970s. In 1967, the Kennedy half-dollar was minted in both regular production and proof versions. For the majority of the year, the mint produced coins without a mint mark, except for the 1967 proof coins, which bore the S mint mark from the San Francisco Mint. The 1967 issue of the Kennedy half-dollar, in particular, represents an intriguing era in U.S. coinage. It was part of a transitional period that saw the end of the 90% silver coins and the rise of the 40% silver coins. This coin, along with the other Kennedy half-dollars from this period, was produced in response to the nation's heightened interest in silver coins as investments. The design of the 1967 Kennedy half-dollar is one of the most recognizable and iconic in U.S. numismatic history. Created by U.S. Mint chief engraver Gilroy Roberts, the obverse features a profile of President John F. Kennedy. This highly detailed image captures Kennedy's likeness in a way that is both dignified and symbolic of his legacy. The words, "Liberty and in God, we trust," appear around the coin's border, with the date 1967 placed below Kennedy's image. The 1967 Kennedy half-dollar, with its large date, remains one of the more desirable issues in the series. The large date refers to the distinctive size of the numerals in the year 1967, which is an interesting feature when compared to other years in the series, where the date is often much smaller. This large date style is particularly popular with collectors who specialize in Kennedy half-dollars. In 1967, the United States Mint produced approximately 273.3 million Kennedy half-dollars across all mints. The majority of these were made without a mint mark, indicating that they were produced at the Philadelphia Mint. However, despite the large mintage, many of these coins were circulated extensively and are now relatively difficult to find in high-grade conditions. The 1967 silver Kennedy half-dollar, in fine condition, holds particular significance in the market due to its silver content, historical value, and high mintage. With silver prices fluctuating, the value of these coins has seen considerable growth over the years. As of today, the value of a 1967 silver Kennedy half-dollar in fine condition can range between $22,000 depending on the current silver market and the specific condition of the coin. However, it's essential to note that coins in higher grades, such as very fine or uncirculated, can command significantly higher prices, sometimes reaching upwards of $27,000 or more. Additionally, the market for coins like this one can be impacted by the demand for silver, which tends to fluctuate based on broader economic conditions. For those interested in numismatic value, the 1967 coin is attractive not only for its historical connection to President Kennedy, but also for its status as a silver coin. As the years go by, the remaining examples in fine or better condition become increasingly scarce, making this coin a desirable piece for collectors. While the 1967 silver Kennedy half-dollar is a sought-after coin in its own right, there are several varieties that collectors pay special attention to. One of the key areas of interest for collectors is the potential for double die errors, though these are not especially common in the 1967 series. Additionally, the lack of a mint mark on the 1967 coin makes it stand out as a unique issue for collectors who focus on minting errors or abnormalities. The interest in the 1967 Kennedy half-dollar is particularly high among collectors who specialize in Kennedy-related coins or those with a passion for coins minted during the 1960s. The Kennedy half-dollar series itself has become a benchmark for collectors seeking coins that represent American history in a tangible way, and the 1967 issue is seen as one of the pivotal years in that series. Next up, the year 1968 was a turbulent one in the United States, marked by political and social upheaval. It was a year that saw the assassinations of Martin Luther King Jr. and Robert F. Kennedy, as well as growing unrest over the Vietnam War. Against this backdrop, the U.S. Mint continued to produce coins with President Kennedy's likeness, a symbol of national mourning and hope for the future. The 1968 silver Kennedy half-dollar shares many similarities with the 1967 issue, particularly in terms of design and silver content. However, the major difference between the two coins was the introduction of mint marks on coins produced at the Denver Mint. These coins were marked with a D mint mark, a feature that set them apart from coins produced at the Philadelphia Mint, which were typically unmarked. In terms of the Kennedy half-dollar series, the 1968 coin was part of a transitional phase. While the 1964 to 1967 coins were made with 90% silver, the 1968 coin, like the 1967, was produced in 40% silver due to rising silver prices. The reduction in silver content meant that Kennedy half-dollars from 1965 to 1970 would be less valuable in terms of their metal content, though they remain historically significant and collectible due to their connection to President Kennedy's legacy. The design of the 1968 Kennedy half-dollar is virtually identical to the previous year's coin, retaining the same image of President John F. Kennedy on the obverse and the Great Seal of the United States on the reverse. The large date feature of the coin is a prominent design element, with the numerals in 1968 appearing significantly larger than those on earlier issues in the series. This particular feature adds to the overall appeal of the coin and is a point of distinction for collectors who specialize in Kennedy half-dollars. The mintage of the 1968 Kennedy half-dollar was significant, with over 120 million coins produced at the Philadelphia and Denver mints combined. The D mint mark on the Denver coins is a crucial feature for collectors, and its error variety has attracted additional attention from those interested in minting abnormalities. The value of the 1968 Kennedy half-dollar in fine condition is generally around $30,000 in today's market. However, the coin's value can fluctuate depending on the market for silver and the specific coin's condition. Coins in higher grades, such as very fine or uncirculated, can be worth significantly more, sometimes commanding prices between $35,000 to $50,000 or higher. For collectors, the 1968 silver Kennedy half-dollar with a mint mark error, such as a misstruck D mint mark, can fetch even higher prices. Errors like these are often rare and sought after by collectors who specialize in minting mistakes, making these coins particularly valuable. The 1968 Kennedy half-dollar is particularly interesting to collectors because of the possibility of mint mark errors. The D mint mark on coins from the Denver Mint is often the subject of error varieties. In some cases, these errors include doubled mint marks, misaligned mint marks, or even the absence of the mint mark entirely. These types of errors can make an otherwise common coin quite rare, and they can substantially increase the value of the coin in the marketplace. The Kennedy half-dollar series, including the 1968 coin, is one of the most actively collected series in U.S. numismatics, and error varieties like the D mint mark mistakes are highly prized among collectors. The 1968 coin, with its large date and potential error varieties, is an excellent example of a piece that not only holds historical value, but also carries significant collector interest. Next up, the Kennedy half-dollar. 1988 has always been an iconic coin in American history, not only because of its connection to President John F. Kennedy, but also due to the significance of its design and production. By the time we reached the late 1980s, the Kennedy half-dollar was primarily being used for commemorative purposes and as a collector's item rather than as everyday currency. The 1988 edition of the Kennedy half-dollar holds a special place in numismatic circles due to a very rare minting error, a P over D error, which makes it even more valuable and desirable. In 1988, the U.S. Mint made a minting mistake by overstriking a D mint mark with a P mint mark, resulting in the P over D error. This happened because some of the dies used in 1988 had remnants of the earlier D mint mark from 1987, which were accidentally overlaid with the P mark for Philadelphia. As a result, some coins produced that year display the P over D error, making them an anomaly and a highly prized rarity among collectors. The Kennedy half dollar itself is a beautiful example of American coin design. The obverse features a portrait of President John F. Kennedy, designed by Gilroy Roberts, based on the famous photograph taken by President Kennedy's official photographer, Cecil Stoughton. The design is simple, elegant, and instantly recognizable, capturing the youthful and charismatic aura of Kennedy. The reverse of the coin was designed by Frank Gasparo and depicts the presidential seal with an eagle clutching a bundle of arrows and an olive branch, symbolizing peace and strength. This reverse design has remained unchanged since the coin's inception, making it one of the most enduring symbols of American coinage. The 1988 coin, like other Kennedy half dollars from this era, is made of a copper-nickel-clad composition, which gives it a distinct sheen and durability. However, it's the error mint mark on the coin that elevates its significance in numismatics. The mintage of the 1988 Kennedy half dollar was substantial, with millions of coins produced that year. The standard issue for circulation was minted in large numbers, but the error variety with the P over D mint mark is incredibly rare, making it highly valuable in today's auction market. While the standard 1988 Kennedy half dollar without the minting error can typically be found in lower value ranges, the P over D error coin commands a significant premium due to its rarity. In fine condition, these coins can be worth anywhere between $42,000, with some rare specimens fetching even more, depending on the quality and demand from collectors. Coins in higher grades, such as those in MS-65 or above, can see values reaching up to $50,000 or more, and in some cases, when accompanied by a certification from a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC, the price could soar even further, with sales records hitting upwards of $56,000. The rarity of the minting error, combined with the unique appeal of the Kennedy half dollar series, continues to make this coin a highly sought-after piece for collectors. The primary factor that sets the 1988 P over D Kennedy half dollar apart from the rest is, of course, the minting error. Error coins are highly valued in the numismatic community because of their scarcity and historical significance. Collectors who specialize in error coins are always on the lookout for such varieties, and a P over D error is considered one of the more interesting and valuable mistakes in the Kennedy half dollar series. This coin's P over D error is a clear and noticeable variation, and it's one that collectors will specifically seek out to complete their Kennedy half dollar collections. Additionally, because of the error's nature, it's not widely known, and many general collectors are not aware of its existence, making it a hidden gem for savvy numismatists. In summary, the 1988 Kennedy half dollar with the P over D error is a unique coin with a rich history, an iconic design, and a notable error that drives its market value. Its rarity and connection to President John F. Kennedy make it an essential coin for collectors, and the continued demand for this piece ensures its place as one of the more valuable Kennedy half dollars on the market today. Next up, the 1973 Kennedy half dollar, though produced in large quantities, remains one of the most important coins in the history of the series. It marks an interesting time in American coinage, coming just a few years after the U.S. Mint began to transition away from silver content in coins due to rising silver prices. The 1973 edition of the Kennedy half dollar was the last year that the coin was struck in a 40% silver composition before the mint switched to a copper-nickel-clad composition for subsequent years. This coin is particularly significant for its design, the choice of metals, and its position in the broader history of U.S. coinage. The 1973 Kennedy half dollar was issued during an era of heightened interest in commemorative coinage, which was fueled by both inflation and a renewed interest in collecting. The design was intended to honor President John F. Kennedy, whose assassination still resonated deeply in the American consciousness. By this time, the Kennedy half dollar had become a regular feature of U.S. coinage, though it was still mostly used for commemorative and collector purposes rather than for general circulation. In 1973, the U.S. Mint produced millions of these coins. But the issue of coins without a mint mark is one of the more interesting aspects of this year. Like most of the Kennedy half dollars minted in the years following President Kennedy's assassination, the 1973 issue features the famous portrait of President Kennedy on the obverse, as designed by Gilroy Roberts. This depiction captures Kennedy's youthful, idealistic energy, making it one of the most recognizable images in U.S. coinage. On the reverse, the presidential seal, designed by Frank Gasparo, features an eagle holding a bundle of arrows in one talon and an olive branch in the other, symbolizing the United States' dual commitment to defense and peace. The design has remained largely unchanged throughout the life of the Kennedy half-dollar series, which contributes to the coin's timeless appeal. The 1973 Kennedy half-dollar was struck in large quantities, and it came in two primary versions: the standard copper-nickel-clad coin and the 40% silver version. The silver version is especially valued by collectors due to its metal content and its connection to the final years of silver coinage. The market value of a 1973 Kennedy half-dollar, without a mint mark, or a regular Philadelphia struck coin in fine condition, typically ranges between $29,000. However, coins in higher grades, such as those graded MS-65 or higher, can fetch significantly more, especially when they are certified by major grading services like PCGS or NGC. What sets this coin apart is the larger-than-usual date, which was a design choice made by the U.S. Mint in the 1970s. The large date variety is highly sought after by collectors who focus on such subtle variations, making the 1973 issue a prized addition to any Kennedy half-dollar collection. The 1973 Kennedy half-dollar is an example of the U.S. Mint's commitment to maintaining quality and consistency in design, but it also benefits from the interest in error coins and minting varieties. While the 1973 coin itself may not feature a major minting error like some other coins from the series, its lack of a mint mark and large date are characteristics that make it desirable. Collectors of Kennedy half-dollars are drawn to such varieties because they represent small, yet important distinctions in the coin's design and production. This interest in the large date variety is what continues to drive the market for the 1973 Kennedy half-dollar, making it an enduring favorite among collectors. Next up, the 1974 Kennedy half-dollar, a coin that has fascinated collectors ever since its release. While the Kennedy half-dollar series is known for its design and its tribute to the beloved President John F. Kennedy, the 1974 issue holds a special place in the hearts of coin collectors, particularly due to the large date variation and its unique characteristics. The Kennedy half-dollar was first issued in 1964, shortly after President John F. Kennedy's tragic assassination in November 1963. The U.S. Mint was quick to honor the fallen president, and it was decided that a new half-dollar would be struck bearing his likeness. The coin's design was the result of a national competition and ultimately chosen to feature Kennedy's portrait by sculptor Gilroy Roberts on the obverse, with the reverse showing the emblem of the U.S. seal by Frank Gasparo. The 1974 Kennedy half-dollar continued this tradition, and its design is reflective of the same features. The coin was struck at several mints, with the majority produced at the Philadelphia Mint. However, a noteworthy feature of the 1974 series was the inclusion of two date styles, a small date and a large date, with the large date variety becoming much rarer and more valuable. In terms of specific differences, the large date variety from 1974 shows a larger, bolder number 4 and 7 in the date compared to the small date. The difference in date size occurred as part of the regular production process at the Mint, but some of these varieties are much harder to find in fine condition. The 1974 Kennedy half-dollar, without a mint mark in fine condition, holds significant value among collectors, with a current market price ranging between $15,000 in auctions, depending on its condition. However, its value can increase dramatically in higher grades, especially in uncirculated or proof condition, where the price can go well beyond $20,000. The absence of a mint mark indicating it was produced at the Philadelphia Mint contributes to its scarcity, as many collectors are drawn to coins with no mint mark due to the rarity of certain years and the unique characteristics they present. While the 1974 Kennedy half dollar isn't known for major minting errors, it's important to note that some variations within the coin may be more valuable than others. The primary value-driving error for this coin is the large date versus small date distinction. If you happen to come across a 1974 large date without a mint mark in uncirculated condition, it could fetch significantly higher prices. Kennedy half dollars in general enjoy consistent demand among collectors, particularly due to their historical significance and the appeal of collecting coins that honor U.S. presidents. As for the 1974 large date no mint mark coin, its desirability is increased by the unique feature of the large date, which adds an extra level of intrigue for collectors. For those assembling a set of Kennedy half dollars, this particular coin is considered an essential piece. Collectors are particularly fond of these coins in fine condition, as it's a stage of wear that's perfect for observing the details of the design while still maintaining a solid level of value in the marketplace. Next up, the 1985 Kennedy half dollar. This coin, unlike the 1974 variety, was produced in larger quantities, and thus its circulation is far more widespread. However, the unique minting features of this coin, paired with its historical context and the high level of interest from collectors, make it a fascinating coin to explore. By 1985, the Kennedy half dollar had been in circulation for over 2 decades, and its design was firmly established. The coin had experienced several production fluctuations and redesigns over the years. In the early 1980s, the U.S. Mint transitioned to a new method of striking coins, which included a change in the composition of the half dollar from silver to a copper-nickel-clad composition. However, the Kennedy half dollar continued to be produced and remained a staple in U.S. coinage. The 1985 Kennedy half dollar is part of this long-standing tradition. With a D mint mark, it was struck at the Denver Mint and is a representation of U.S. coinage during this period, with both its design and historical significance coming into play. The 1985 Kennedy half dollar features a large date design, which refers to the larger size of the numbers in the date. This variation in size can sometimes be difficult to notice unless examined closely, especially in circulated condition. Additionally, the D mint mark signifies that this particular coin was minted in Denver. The 1985 Kennedy half dollar in circulated condition generally fetches a lower price compared to uncirculated or proof versions, but it still holds steady value. Coins in circulated condition typically range from $58,000 in today's market, depending on the condition and level of wear. However, if the coin is found in better condition, such as in uncirculated or mint state, its value can increase significantly. In some rare cases, a proof quality or MS-65 example of the 1985 half dollar can fetch $59,500 in the right auction setting. The demand for 1985 Kennedy half dollars is largely driven by collectors who focus on assembling sets of U.S. coins by year, as well as those who have a particular interest in U.S. presidential coinage. While the 1985 Kennedy half dollar isn't particularly known for mint errors, small variations such as weak strikes or minor die cracks have been observed. These are relatively rare and can command slightly higher prices if identified by experienced collectors or numismatists. A coin with an interesting or unique die crack or off-center strike can increase in value, particularly for collectors who are interested in errors. As such, the 1985 Kennedy half dollar remains a popular coin for error collectors. As well as to collect coins from each year in U.S. history, the 1985 coin's demand is also supported by the Kennedy half dollar's enduring appeal to those who appreciate U.S. history and the artistry behind the coin's design. Next up, the 1972 silver Kennedy half dollar holds a significant place in American coinage history. Struck during a time of both political and cultural change in the United States, this coin was issued as part of the Kennedy half dollar series, which began in 1964 as a tribute to the recently assassinated President John F. Kennedy. The 1972 edition of the Kennedy half dollar is particularly noteworthy due to the large date design, a stylistic variation that set it apart from other coins in the series. However, its true value today lies in the error that occurred during its minting, the D error mint mark. The total mintage for the 1972 Kennedy half-dollar series was substantial, with millions of coins struck across both mints. However, the specific error involving the D mint mark was relatively rare, and this factor has contributed to its increasing market value in the numismatic world. While the production of the 1972 coin was relatively high, close to 200 million coins in total, those bearing the D error mint mark are considerably scarcer. It is believed that the minting error occurred due to a malfunction during the striking process, where the mint mark was placed improperly or more visibly than intended. This error is a key factor in driving the coin's value up in the market. The 1972 Kennedy half-dollar design retains the iconic imagery created by artist Frank Gasparo. On the obverse of the coin, you'll find the right-facing portrait of President John F. Kennedy, accompanied by the inscriptions, "Liberty and in God we trust," along with the year of minting, 1972. The reverse features the heraldic eagle, which was adopted as the reverse design in the 1964 Kennedy half-dollar and continued throughout the series. What sets this coin apart from other versions of the Kennedy half-dollar is the large date design, which was created as a stylistic choice. This large date was meant to provide a clearer, more prominent appearance for the year, but it inadvertently became a defining feature for collectors who began to associate it with rarity. More importantly, the D-error mint mark on some of the coins is what causes the value to skyrocket. The D mint mark error on the 1972 coin occurred when an additional die or punch was used that caused the mint mark to be struck with greater intensity. This results in the D mint mark appearing unusually large and more defined than what was intended. The error is easy to spot, and collectors eagerly search for these coins due to their distinctive look and rarity. For collectors, the 1972 silver Kennedy half-dollar with the D error mint mark in fine condition is an incredibly valuable piece. Due to the error and its limited quantity, this coin has become highly desirable for both new collectors and seasoned numismatists alike. The high demand for these coins, coupled with their rarity, has contributed to their rising value in the auction market. In today's auction market, the 1972 Kennedy half-dollar with D error mint mark in fine condition can fetch a significant price. As of recent auction estimates, these coins can range in value from approximately $40,000 depending on the quality of the coin, the prominence of the error, and the buyer's interest. Coins in higher grade condition or those with more distinct and visually noticeable errors can command even higher prices, with some auction results reaching over $48,500 or more. Collectors are particularly interested in this coin because of its historical connection to the Kennedy era and its status as a relatively rare find in the world of error coins. The 1972 D mint mark error coin not only has value as a silver coin, but it also represents the era of American coinage in which it was produced, making it a popular choice for anyone seeking to expand their collection of Kennedy half-dollars or error coins. The 1972 silver Kennedy half-dollar with the D error mint mark is a perfect example of how a seemingly small mistake in the minting process can result in a highly valuable and sought-after coin. Whether you're a seasoned collector or someone just starting their journey in numismatics, this coin is a must-have for anyone who appreciates American history, rare coins, and the fascinating world of minting errors. If you come across one of these coins in your collection or during your coin hunts, be sure to evaluate its condition and the prominence of the error to gauge its true market value.